approved agenda. We have one addition, in new business, E, via our village contract for mental health. I believe Jay handed it out. And we will take, new business E off the agenda. Other than that, it is
Motion to approve the agenda, Chris.
motion by Manstrom. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Oxnard. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Approved consent agenda. Minutes, July financial report, July activity fund, August bills in July, ACH payments, July payroll.
I had a question about, you're expended during the month or purchase, I don't know exactly, purchase professional technical services?
Which, like, give me the number,
Okay.
because there's, each category has their own.
Capital projects, so three, what number are you looking for?
That's, nope, that's it, that's all I needed to know.
Okay, where it
That's
says
the-
we're at 222% of our budget? Is
Yes.
that the roof?
Yes,
Okay, I was like, I'm assuming this is like roof major project, but
Yes.
just because it really jumped out at me when I was flipping through it, I was
Yes.
like, that's a lot out of our budget. Okay.
yep,
Any question on bills? 9202, we paid, that's the amount paid to service masters already. Are they already working in the school, or?
So we get billed monthly, so it's prorated, so it's the same amount throughout.
Okay,
So even though they don't start until this project, we're
okay,
still gonna pay, so instead of paying $3,000 this month, and then the other months we pay 12.
okay.
This keeps it consistent all the way through.
and part of the contract is we pay in advance.
Sure. Anybody have any other questions or concerns? Anybody want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Johnson. Is there a second?
I'll second, Chris.
Second by Manstrom. All in favor, aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Public comments. None, no public. Board comments. I just want to touch on, we talked a little, well, we talked for a while about, House Bill 1105. It did not change what we thought it changed. So we have to pay for any online courses. Even though when we read North Dakota Century Code, plainly states you don't, but apparently if you read farther up, it states you have to. Didn't make the changes. I talked to Kirsty Han, as the new, Baxley, Alexis Baxley, so, she's taken her role, and she explained that they just had House Bill 1105, went through the North Dakota School Board Association, had their stamp of approval on it, they would have made this change. They would have taken one out, But it's no different than if us adopting a new policy without rescinding the old, the new can't be adopted without rescinding the old. That's what happened. They made some changes, but they don't take into effect. Because if you read House Bill 1105, it states the exact same thing North Dakota Century Code states. That if you have a class in your school, you don't have to pay for the online. But that did not get taken off, so we still have to.
Basically comes down to lawyer certification. NDCL told us that we did not have to, because they left the lawyers. EPI and the School Board Association, their lawyers are saying, yeah. So that's the law right now, but there's going to be, we got told Thursday at NDCL that lawyers will be involved.
So do we need to change our policy
So
back
we will be the next one.
next month? Okay.
Yep, that's what I was just gonna get to. So, North Dakota School Board is recommending, two policy changes. Well, if you don't have a virtual school, there wouldn't be, you don't have to change anything. But like, certain schools, they offer their own virtual schools, so they would have to change ABAD. But we have, GACA, which is virtual instruction. It's our correspondence course. Now it will be changed. We'll have to update that because at the bottom of ours says cost of correspondence course shall be borne by the student, which it's not.
Basically, we'll have to all we want.
Before.
Yeah, we just need to take that off. We don't even have to put anything in there. Well, that's something for the policy committee to be done. The other thing, House Bill 1105, there are some limitations we can put on, and I will just, this is something the policy committee can look at, as far as I can go off of Bismarck. She's, when I talked to Chrisanne, she said Bismarck made some restrictions. Limitations and restrictions. The student must adhere to the same prerequisite and core requirements as in-person course. The district may require students enrolled in virtual courses to work with district assigned learning coaches and guide. This is just Bismarck's public schools. The district schools will implement, register, and add or drop timelines which align with in-person courses registration. Any request for virtual instruction, including NDCDE, must be made during the normal registration window for upcoming school year so we can prepare. So normal registration is that you can't just get halfway through and change. Yeah, and then students must attend there. This is the one that they kind of changed. Student must be in attendance in their building for a minimum of 50% of the school day. So you can't take 5 courses online. That's the only really thing that restricts them. So there are some, and I guess I would advise we learn what we can restrict now. You know, is 50% the max or what, you know, to come to the board next time and see what we can. Because I still think a diploma from minor should be taught minor as much as possible. So, sorry, I thought this meeting was tomorrow, so I'm a little, yeah. This was, and this is all stuff that Chrisanne emailed me. She goes, I can email you everything that we've sent out. She goes, you are not the first one to ask these questions.
NDCL told the entire state, every single superintendent at UPI on Wednesday, couldn't believe what we said. It was 80 in, sir. So,
Yeah.
NDCL, UPI did not come on in May, but NDCL did. They told us that we did not.
And I think here's another one I just want to touch on. There, the district the requirements, this is just kind of what they tell schools, that's what Bismarck Public School went their own way, and so this is the, how it's, I guess, reads out. Districts may require virtual course registration to follow standard school course enrollment deadlines, set a minimum number of courses required to be taken on site, whether virtual or in person. That's where they got their last number for. And the rest is just kind of keeping it in touch with your courses.
So we have to be careful with that a little bit too. We have seniors who take a lot of new credit courses their senior year, which they're not here, they're only here
Well,
$2 or $3 a day.
Yeah, if you require
They're not courses that,
the on, in the building, but when I was talking with her, she said, it made it sound like the dual courses don't abide by this, they're not, that's what this isn't meant to talk about, but so, but I just wanted to touch on a couple things. Yeah, this just goes over the guidelines, we still have to pay, it still gets spelled out, so. That was kind of a. Oh shit, I guess. We had some people questioning, and I looked it up, and I had to call Jay and I'm like, what's going on, why is this? And this is what it said, and the next morning he texted me back and was like, yeah.
as soon as I got the Bismarck, that's the first thing we talked about.
So, and we did not, budget for this, so I don't know how many people registered.
I figured it out on Friday, it'll cost the district about $12,000. Possibly more, because we still have kids that are switching out.
For
Still,
semester or for?
that's for the year.
Oh, okay.
In addition to what we're already doing.
Yeah, that's just for these classes that we didn't anticipate.
Oh,
Because last year we paid like 17,000, 16,000 for all.
Total, yeah.
so it's an additional 12,000 on top of who's already taking online courses?
That we didn't offer, basically.
Yes, the
Okay.
ones that I already included the ones that we had to pay, or we knew we had to pay for. Those were included in the tuition,
Okay.
but now we would probably want to adjust the tuition up to include these ones. And that's what will cost an additional $12,000,
That's all.
is the ones that we weren't anticipating paying for. But like I said, that number could go up because we still have kids that are making changes to their schedules, so.
Okay, so the policy committee will have to go over, obviously, the GACA, and, we don't offer online courses, so we don't have to, but, and then that kind of opens up another can of worms, since it's going to cost us 12,000. I know we talked about this prior. Finding out what we can do to better keep those students in the building. I don't know, we had talked about sending a survey out, questioning what can we change to keep them in the building. I don't know what ever happened to that. I would,
I think we're too small of a school to do that. I think it identifies.
Well,
I
I
don't
think
think
we
this
need-
is the place and time to talk about it on some things, it's about personnel. And, it's talking to other superintendents, they would never do.
I don't know why we can never do it. I think it needs to be addressed, because if there's something we can address to keep those students here, we as a board need to know that, I mean,
And this is almost, this is a problem in all schools.
oh yeah, I get it, but for us to just go, well, there's nothing we can do about it, that, to me, is not the way this board should act on, I mean, last year it cost us $17,000, now it's $12,000. Yeah, when you look at our yearly budget, that's not that much, but we didn't budget for it, so,
But we're gonna, tuition.
yes. Which still costs our taxpayers in this district an extra $12,000 when we have the teachers in this building. And if we don't take the due diligence to find out why those kids are doing a simple questionnaire to go, hey, we could change this, that, or the other to keep, I don't even know how many of the kids this is, but if there's 10 of them and we can keep 5 of them here, that's a win. Or if we keep 1 or 2, that's a win. Because I said it at the beginning of the meeting, I think a Weiner public school diploma means something. And I think it should to everybody else, and it goes to the taxpayers that pay this extra $12,000 that's legal. So that's my 2 cents.
That's kind of how I got beat up 10 years ago when we passed the initial policy, that the thinking was is we were concerned about the ability to not actually take classes from Weiner High School, but get the diploma.
Yeah.
You know, and then I realized COVID changed everything there and the state changed things, so that's the reality that we're at the moment. But there could be a myriad of reasons amongst families of why, you know, choices are made. Any information that we as a group, all of us administrators, can look at is probably beneficial. If there's a way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you can't force them if they don't wanna say it, then
Right.
we move on, but if there's something, I don't know, if I'm doing something wrong, I would like to know. I can only get better, if it, well, not wrong, I shouldn't say wrong, but if there's a way to do something better, or compromise, I think it's not doing justice if we just go, oh,
And is there opportunity to like understand what class, like, is there, I don't know, right, like, is there themes or threads between which classes or which grades or whichever are being taken online? And I understand that if there is some sentiment around potentially that could be tied back to individual staff members, like, just understanding that there may be concerns with the course or the instructor for a course, if that's the concern, is one thing. That can be navigated and dealt with by the supervisors, that doesn't necessarily have to be discussed at board meeting, but I
Oh, yeah.
think understanding, like, I think at the higher level, there's opportunity to understand.
I think if you ask what, however many of you ask, what, you know, what can we do to help you stay in the building? And if it comes out that it's just one teacher, obviously we're not gonna, that's not gonna be an open board meeting, but asking for a survey is no big deal in an open board meeting, to find out, because I feel obligated to find out what we can do to save this district $12,000.
Will this law as it's written be in place for the next biennium until the
Yeah.
legislature?
That's the way I understood it.
Yep.
Chris Hanna said there's
2 years.
nothing that can be done until they meet it again.
There probably will not be a special session because the governor is being told they will be closed, so.
Yeah, that's what she shared with me.
So there, it's projected potentially 12,000 for the academic tertiary,
That's the new,
but not just one semester, right? That would be what's anticipated for here this year and then potentially next year. If all remain the same.
Yes, always.
Yeah. But that was my word of comments. correspondence. Old business, new business. 25-26 food service prices.
So Carrie put together, she did an excellent job of putting this together. We had a $45,000 deficit in our food service last year, 45,000. Did a 2.5% increase from the state, but apparently, but our vendors who supply goods and services, they don't go 2.5, they go 5%. So it's not good. So
And it's not getting better.
it's not gonna get better, and so the proposal is a 30% increase per meal, and Sherry's got it laid out there, that would be an increase per month, per meal, and for the year.
Which one was it that we needed to go 46 though? I
It
couldn't remember.
would be breakfast, lunch, and 270, and not 260, it's only 35% increase, or 35% increase. It's gotta be at least 40.
Okay. So it has to be 40 cents
Yeah.
over theirs,
I guess I'll
Okay.
get to,
270, okay.
um,
Okay, was it a text? I was looking for emails, I didn't check your text, okay. So 270.
so adult, the proposed increase would be 270 for breakfast and 265. It has to be at least 40 cents higher than the students. I will say, our lunch is outstanding. And I've only been in a few other area schools during lunchtime. They don't get the meals my kids get. The options that our kids get. You know, a lot of schools either they cook in a bag and file out. And ours is fresh beef, it's down here, it's cooked here.
Chris, I think the only time we remember ever breaking even, I think you were on the board then, we had maybe about 300 kids in the building, so it's been an economy of scale since then. And then reflected a lot more stable prices for a number of years than there has been the last 5, so we're gonna have to do what we have to do here.
And last year, all prices just took off. I mean, most buildings.
Yeah, normally it's, you know, 18 to 19,000 is what we take from the general.
We have Christine and Sherry and Walter Bismarck in October for a meeting on, trying to figure out, there's some ways that we can order it and try to save a little bit of money, so I think it's worth our time and our investment financially, send it all to every day and go through that workshop and see if there's a way we can save money first. So,
You still can't feed any kid for $3.45
no,
anywhere else, you
No.
know, school lunch.
I left Bismarck last Thursday and went through Arby's, and I did not get a lot. And it was close to $20.
Yep. You say I can't get through McDonald's with 3 kids, about $50 right there, so.
Yeah, I got a meal just for myself. I went here at McDonald's, it was 11.
I was just saying, you get one meal, it's
And
over
I
$10.
got, that's just me.
Yeah.
11.22.
Yep.
And you got garbage.
Yeah, I got garbage,
You know,
exactly.
when you look at it, I mean, if you got a hamburger, you got a chicken salad,
No. I got a Big Mac.
You did let us on it.
Did have
I know other schools have salad bars, but we have that, but I look at all the other things, the broccoli, there's carrots, there's cauliflower, they have cucumbers all the time. I mean, they treat every once in a while, they go bags of craisins or whatever, and our kids eat a lot of that, they really do. They
So you said the adult breakfast has to go to $2.70 for
Adults,
the adults, cause it's gotta be,
40 cents higher than your cheapest breakfast price.
okay,
Yep.
you can't just read it, okay.
Has to be at least that, so you could go higher if you want.
No, I was just,
Yeah, it's gotta be at least 40 cents higher.
cause all the other prices just went 30,
Yep.
so it's just.
And that's the, I mean, your motion can be increase all meal prices by 30 cents for all meals except adult breakfast, which would be 35 cents.
Sure.
Like, you don't have to say each individual price
Yeah.
if you want to. 'Cause that's where the-
No recall, I did look back, what did we increase last year? What was it?
20 or 25?
25. Because I think we went with 5 to make everything even on that.
Right, yeah,
Sure.
that's, yeah.
Is the state average you have listed this year's state average or last year's?
It is this,
How many days in a row?
These are bigger school districts that combine bigger volume.
Which, yeah, makes the average down, yeah. Well, and I was surprised that they already have these numbers because
That's
a
what I was
lot of
wondering if
people
they're
haven't
last year's.
set it up there, right, so I
So
don't,
maybe they're last year's, like.
right?
they're-
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be, but I guess like the thing that I said to Jay, when you think about that and what he says about the quality of food and the choices that the kids get here, I feel like we can be on the higher end of the average because of what they did.
Because if you were to buy a box of lasagna, it's gonna be cheaper than what they're doing. So,
And our kids are getting whole foods,
yeah,
fresh food, fresh vegetables, fresh protein.
well, does anybody want to advocate for it to be higher than the 30 cents per ounce for the adults? Because I'll make a motion to approve that unless somebody wants to have
do we have so before we go there, do we have what this increase will mean in revenue coming in to that 45,000? If we just wanted to compare it, I know I put you on the spot, I should have.
Well, and I wanted
So
to
this
try
is-
and run that, but it's really hard to know because you don't know we don't know how many kids are gonna eat until after the fact. I mean, I could do a guesstimate for you
Yeah,
based on
I
how
should
many
have
kids.
asked, because you could have just run that with
Last year's.
the numbers that you
Yeah.
sold, but yeah, that one.
Or over the last 3 years, and then we did that and take the average, and that's a good marker.
Yeah.
So this 30-cent increase is based on not the revenue you want to generate, but it's based on,
I don't think you want,
what's that?
maybe you don't want to have the impact on families, if you have 3 or 4 kids.
No, I was just wondering on how you arrived at 30 cents as a proposed increase.
Mostly I based it on the state average and wanting to at least be a little bit higher, but, like I said, be on the higher end of the state average, that's why I picked what I picked.
So if it was 25 cents last year, well, whatever it was, if it was 30 cents higher. Base it on.
And I was also trying to stay, like, I didn't wanna go too far over $5 per month of an increase, that I wanna be fair both ways, I want it to help the school, but I don't want it to hurt the families, if that makes sense, that's.
Just trying to figure out what 30 cents would cost on a 182-day school year.
You know, it's,
Way.
last year we had a group of boys in the 5th grade, they will be 6th graders this year. If one kid says the day before that he's bringing his own lunch, it's funny, almost all the boys know. And then the next day, they're all eating hot lunch, so it was,
It's kind of hard to know.
So I just ran two, because our number this this year is 240, well, right now we're at 243. So I just ran 235 students, 170 days times 30 cents, that's almost $12,000.
Yeah.
So, and that's just for lunch,
Yeah.
not including breakfast. So it's, I mean, it's not making up the 45,000,
No.
but I don't think we can, I just don't feel good about raising it that much.
Yeah.
But at least it gives us a little
It
more.
brings it
Mhm.
within a little more. So, anybody want, is everybody okay with 30 cents or?
Yeah.
So we, I need a motion to raise 30 cents and 35 cents for adult. Just adult
I
breakfast.
think Melissa already kind of did.
Yeah, she was willing to make that
Yeah,
motion.
she
So Melissa will make that motion, I'll need a second.
I'll second.
Second from Bernard. Roll call vote, Johnson,
Yes.
Bernard,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Manstrom.
Yes.
Motions. Primary oil fuel bid.
Yep, so Ed got a bid to us and Robert. So they're matching what we've done in the past, so the 25-26 school year, 10 cents below pump price, minus the federal tax, the same thing we have, the same thing we have with CHS. So. Motion to approve.
We will make a motion to approve primary oil fuel bid.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Johnson, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bernard. Roll call vote, Johnson,
Yes.
Bernard,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Manstrom.
Yes.
Yes. Bobcat Day of Caring. Karen called me and said, Bobcat has a day of caring, they offered to fix the fence for us. I got it put on there and maybe have the building fund figure out what else they could fix for us, this is all free. If they're going to come down, I don't know if we missed the deadline.
They
Find out.
had to fill in their questions, like, he called me on a Monday, by Wednesday, the questions had to be answered as far as, like, what we wanted to do, but he
Okay,
also said the employees are paid for at least 8 hours, so if it's not gonna take them that long, and it can, I don't know how long it's gonna take them, I don't know that anything else, he's like, we should at least be prepared for 4, and I know when they took out the borders around the playground equipment over there, they did that in a timely fashion, and then they went over to rock garden and pick weeds, and some other things to do with the community, but
Yeah, I mean, if Tyler or Dave or them have a list of any other small projects that,
So I met with Tyler, we drove
okay,
down. So they've got a lot done. And so the one thing they could think of, the one thing, the big project they didn't get, they did a lot of patchwork on that little cement
Yeah.
foundation all the way around. They didn't get that painted. And then the field goal posts were another thing, goals, another thing they wanted to get painted, but they got. And I will say that those posts out there are concrete in, that's gonna be the issue. So when you pull those out,
it might be a simple fix to just lower the.
That's what Brian said too.
So
because it looks like they go with that big slab of concrete on them.
Well, it's just a chain link fence, right?
Yeah, but it's,
The concrete.
it's concrete, they're concreted into the ground.
Yep.
And so they dig a hole down to about 2.5, 3 feet, and pull and fill that with cement.
Yeah.
So if they raised up, it might be something, it might not, I don't know. Because anytime I've had fences like that, they've had to dig a post out and we do. And we can try putting a skid steer pushing them down, but I don't know if that would.
I don't know.
I think
The
they'll be
pole's a
prepared for
little-
whatever needs to happen, but I think, it looked as though to me, actually, if you actually bolted the top, middle, and the bottom, that will all slide down. And I think there's some room yet on the pole, or the bottom one. That would be the simplest
Just
fix.
move the
And then-
fence itself.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
tighten up that bottom one, they're gonna have to probably dig out a little bit of dirt to get it leveled out and then readdress it. But I think that's what can happen,
Okay.
Yeah,
and make it better, so.
but it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know why we spread away $3,000 for, and whatever
Plus,
project.
if you have lots of kids who your experience work at Bobcat, I think that's a great,
Would you?
I think it's a great community relationship. to
Yeah,
have.
and this opens the door, I mean, now we know about it, I didn't know about it until Karen called and if there are any projects in the future, that would be something for the building fund, or building committee to keep in mind going on, hey, this would be something for,
And I do believe they do one in the fall and one in the spring.
so,
Day of caring.
this is completely free to us, so. I just wanted to address that. Committee reports.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, I skipped, I got it right here. It's just over to the right. Village contract, mental health contract.
So late this afternoon, we got a memorandum for agreement from the village for our mental health services. It's the same agreement that we've had in the past. It's a mental health practitioner here that was probably one day a week. The cost is $2,000 a month, so it's $24, and they do it year round, it's $24,000. It is budgeted. Same services that we have had. It's been very good for our students and holders.
Was something that didn't increase from the year. So.
I know right now it's not in the budget to increase, but I have had families reach out asking if there's ever the potential to increase the number of days this person is here due to wait lists, especially in the spring. And I guess I just like that, kind of on back of people's minds as we go forward. Again, right now it's probably not the time to be adding more services, but I wish I could, as I know how important it is, because it's usually been up on my doorstep sometimes.
You might want to make a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Bernard, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Topsnod. Roll call vote. Bernard,
Yes.
Topsnod,
Yes.
Angstrom.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Bush, yes. Passes. Now, policy committee.
Okay. First one is ACG. This is a new policy coming out of the legislative session. Child safety liaison work group and mandatory training. There's a lot of content in this policy. A lot of it's if you choose to do a lot of it, but basically, for as far as what we're concerned with, it allows the districts to assign the counselor or principal to work with the child protection services. We have done that in the past when we have had some type of mandated reporting. That's our past practice. And then also the yearly mandated reporting online course that all staff have had to take the past few years. No longer have to make them take that every year. We are now allowed to incorporate that mandated reporting within the required 8 hours of PD that we address with our staff every 2 years. There's going to be trauma, suicide prevention, mental health, so we can incorporate that. I do plan on having all of our first-year employees still do the online course. The law did not take effect until August 1st. And so now any teacher going in for their license after August 1st will have to take this before they get licensed. I'm guessing our first grade teacher was licensed prior to August 1st. And then we do have a couple of new pairs, and then someone returning back to schools. I think it would be a good refresher for it. But they're also going to have them take the mandate before they use. So we have that on file. this is a new policy, we do not have to rescind the old policy.
Questions? Concerns? So, I'll ask for a motion and waive second reading on ACG policy as listed.
I'll make the motion to approve the policy ACG.
Motion by Manstrom. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Datsram. Roll call vote, Manstrom,
Yes.
Datsram,
Yes.
Lord,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Bush, yes.
Okay, thank you. Next one's pretty cut and dry. GACB, that's the patriotic exercises. This one requires districts to allow any students who are qualified electors to leave campus to vote on general, special, or primary elections. And it also requires schools to give students the opportunity to recite the Pledge of Allegiance each morning. So, we do have this policy in place, so this would replace our old GACB. Students do not have to stand up and be a part of the pledge, but they have to be respectful. Do not make them. They can choose to sit down and just sit quiet. I've not talked to principals yet on how to do this, whether we do it in each end, but we're all together at the same time, we're going to figure that out this week, but it's the thinking that we just do it with the PA, have students come in and do it with the PA prior to, right after the daily announcements. We just do it K through 12. I'll talk to the principals. Sometimes the elementary ends a little bit different than the high school, so we just gotta make sure we follow the same page. Any questions of GACB? Okay. Now the next one, this one, FFK, this is suspension and expulsions. So this kind of gives more clarity to what districts can do during a suspension or expulsion. Allows districts to expel students up to 12 months for insubordination, disorderly conduct. It does outline firearm, sexual offense, destruction of school property, and those types of things on what your limitations are, what your max penalties are. Also gives district guidance as to what should be considered for different durations for expulsions. District can also create conditions to reinstate expelled students. So that's a new piece where it gives schools the opportunity. There might be some therapy, there might be some treatments, there might be some counseling that's going to have to take place before students will be allowed to come back. And then basically FFK-BR, the board reg, all that gives the guidance and the process for the expulsion hearings and the prior and also the notification of the expulsion hearing and so forth. So pretty cut and dry, not a lot of opportunity to make it specific to WPS. Looking at the two, it does give schools a little bit more. I take that back. FFK, BR, we do not have, that is a new board reg. So GACD and FFK, we do have, and we would have to rescind those before we can move forward. FFK-BR is a new board regulation, so there's nothing to rescind.
So is there any questions on GACB, FFK?
I'll make a motion to rescind GAC.
Motion by Bernard to rescind GACB and FFK.
I'll second it.
Second by Manstrom. started, I'll just finish. Roll call vote, Bernard,
Yes.
Manstrom,
Yes.
Johnson, Dotson, Bush, yes. Now I need a motion to adopt the new policy, GACB and FFK.
And FFKBR, right?
Nope.
No, we gotta do that.
Well,
Well, we probably
We
could
probably
accept,
could.
we
Yeah.
probably could accept them all now, because we're,
Yeah, 'cause
so we could accept the three policies. FFK-BR is a new rate, the other two will be replaced. So, well, we'd adopt the three policies with waiving the second reading on FFK-BR. Just somebody like to make that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dotson, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bernard. Roll call vote, Dotson,
Yes.
Bernard, Manstrom,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Bush, yes. SRCTC report.
Last, July's meeting, of course, was reorganization, so, we have a new president, the representative from the, Fairmont School Board, Marcus Jeffrey, is the new board chair. That's pretty much highlighted that part, and, the other thing that they touched on was the 2025-26 house. Concrete's being poured, so that will be ready to go for the students, when we get up and running near the end of August.
the other ones get sold completely.
I do not know
I know they're close.
what is taking place exactly with that yet.
Yeah.
Any questions? Thank you. Admin reports, elementary.
Put in the packet, I've got kind of a breakdown of curriculums we're using in the elementary this year. We have a look at social studies. We got that figured out. Otherwise, everything seems to be rolling in. We had 18 students receive summer school services. So we did Ray Oscar, Julie Hoffer, and Mary Jo Lossmay for doing that. Seemed like it was going really well. We've got a list of current enrollment numbers as of right now, 117 I think is what we have from the elementary. That could adjust a little bit in the coming days as kids get registered in and all of that, so that's where we're at right now. We've got some people doing safety care training, that's our response team. They'll be going, some have gone, some are going this week, some are going in September, but it's me, Mrs. Gussmer, Mr. Spooner, Mrs. Metcalf, and Mr. Costford. Melissa Gussmer and Dominic Spooner will be completing their second year of letters training. Madeline Krzyzewski will be starting her first year of letters training. She will also be taking part of the new teacher network offered through SEEP, and Melissa Gussmer will be her mentor. So both of them will be taking classes and trainings on that. It's quite intensive, but I think it's going to be a really good opportunity for them both. Lauren Worcester will be the elementary paraeducator, and then Mrs. Hofford is working with North Dakota Gateway to Science. She's done that the last couple of years to get us STEM days and get groups to come in. But like many things across our state right now, Gateway to Science funding is much lower this year than they had anticipated. So they're working on brainstorming ideas of how they can still bring in activities for our kids at a good cost. It's not going to hit our districts really hard because we weren't the only school to be utilizing that. She's on a board that meets to discuss those things, so she'll do updates as the year goes on and how they can still bring that into our classrooms.
Are you ready for next week?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, for the high school, we have our cell phone lockers. I don't know if you've seen them on the concession stands, on the concession stand bars. We've got 6 of them, 1 for each grade. Don't know how any of this is going to work. I'm hoping it works. Do our best. They're, I guess, kids coming in late, kids having to leave early, them, you know, them having to be unlocked and things like that. And how that's gonna all look, I guess it's going to be a trial by fire here early on. It's gonna be a change for the kids. I know Literate has done it, at least for 1 year, maybe 2 years, they've had something like that, so. Not sure, so to be determined. We did hire our new para from Hankinson, J.C. George. She will be working in high school. We started football, varsity football last Thursday. We got 28 kids that are here, well, 27, 28 will be here tomorrow. 18 junior high football players, and then we have got two boy athletes going to cross country co-op. And then they want to say that Tri-State Titans, the football team, dropped their varsity program for the year. Will only be playing JV football. We did lose a home game, of course.
That wasn't, was it?
I
I didn't.
was afraid it could happen.
There's a lot of rumors floating around.
Okay, thank you. Super.
I'll start with the roof project update. There's a lot in here. We're all aware of the running behind schedule. Over the boiler room, the cafeteria, as I reported last month, that's all pretty much done. They still just have some facial work to do around that side of the building. I'm guessing they'll wait on that side of the building for the facial work to the end. As they're behind, they'll be doing the roof of the gym once school starts. And I think they're gonna be, from what Tyler was telling me, they're gonna be accessing that from the south side. So that's why I don't think they're doing the facial yet. I kind of wondered why they left that. I mean, that was an assumption, we'll see. They have the whole west end of our classroom hallway here completed. They're now from Mrs. Stringy's room over, and now down probably to about the band hallway is. That's the part that we're working on. The goal is to have that done by next Wednesday. All this old styrofoam you see out here, a lot of that was compressed. Well, I guess all that rock on there. But it was compressed at a depth that they could no longer use it. They were trying to, once they got some stuff exposed here, I think they were trying to see if they could stack two of them on top of each other, but then that didn't work. So they had to order more of the white styrofoam. And so it's kind of a little bit of a mess. Corey did call them out because there were some days they were leaving at 2:30, and when he basically found out, and I don't know, apparently that for every roll that they have to roll, it gets like they get 3 pieces out of that. And so if they get to a point in the afternoon that they get that done, and they know that if they open up another roll, they gotta do 3 sections, and if they can't get that done before quitting time, they don't start. And any sign of lightning, they've got enough to roof. Any sign of rain, they don't work. Apparently, when they seam everything, the seams don't adhere, and they can't guarantee them if they're. And so that's kind of where we're at. They started about 3 weeks late because of rain out in Bismarck this spring. So hopefully, they're gonna have everything. There's those 6 parking spots that are just to the east of the driveway that goes into the Morton building. That's gonna kind of be where they keep everything. They're gonna keep everything out of our parking lot. Once this is done, this will be all ready to go for the school year. We'll be good there. And I did see the second crew came in this morning. These guys had South Dakota plates on today, so they had crew here from North Dakota plates, and they brought a crew in from South Dakota plates. So they did have, there was about 8 people on board today. So that's where we're at. There'll be no issue with them. I mean, we hardly hear anything. They're working above us right now. You'll hear every once in a while, you hear a drop of big bump or styrofoam or something, but it's not bad. And so up on the gym roof should be nothing at all. Board report, Principals did report on the hiring of repairs. Natalie Heitkamp chose to resign and she's gonna work full-time at Natalia, over at the daycare center. I think we found Jim, her references were outstanding with J.C. George. Steve Dunn is going to cover the long-term sub PM route. And then I got a curveball, Chuck and I got a curveball from them as on late Friday afternoon. Chantel Raymond now lives in Minnesota. She had a new driver's license and the bus license does not transfer to Minnesota. And she got to go through the whole process again, so she resigned. And so I will give a huge shout out to Kelly Jurdot. She's gonna step up and take the route to we can find a replacement. And she's even contemplating maybe even taking. So if you see Kelly, a week and a half before school, ultimate team player, I appreciate it.
Big ass, especially with,
Yep.
he's got some small kids in
Yeah, and this is the PM route, so she'll probably bring them with.
Yeah, but still.
But if you see her, she deserves a pat on the back. I attended DPI superintendent back to school drill down in Bismarck. Legislative impacts, yep, at exactly 8:15 in the morning, I found out about 11:05. School finance with new updates, the 2.5%. State funding increase over the next 2 years, 3% cap. There's some gap funding opportunities if we can't get to your mills, and so that's kind of a mess, but we're working through some of that. Christine Baszler guaranteed us that Infinite Campus will be up and running July 1st of next year because they are not paying Power School a dime next July, so we have no choice. So we will believe it. I did sit in a meeting for the science and math, had that and it was just a conversation. There really wasn't a lot of information out there, but I told Sherry, I said, what I didn't hear, and maybe they didn't say it, they missed it. I didn't hear them saying they were going to involve North Dakota educators. So I'm hoping they just forgot about it, missed it, because I just think that they're going to jam something down our throat, and I just hope they involve some educators. So we'll see. The Title I formula, I got a little bit of an understanding on how we went to, so they use your census report, and they only count the townships that are part of the city and community of Weimar. So they're not getting all of our kids. So if we have a kid, our school district is different than the township map for what would be considered Weimar, we don't get it. Money might be in Ridgewood, it might be in Richland, it might be in Haines. And they said it 3 times and someone called them up. They said, well, the money should be following the kids. And someone said, no, the money's not following the kids. The way you're doing it's not working. So hopefully.
I do not know.
Because this is, see what, they said 23 other states do it this way. So they named out some of the states. Well, I Googled it. And North Carolina has county schools, county school districts. So so the census for that county is this.
Yeah, it works when you have it
Correct.
countywide.
Correct. South Carolina has county school districts. Now Nebraska doesn't, they don't, I don't know how they do it. So anyway, there were some suggestions on how to tweak the formula a little bit, and I think that they were willing to listen and have a conversation. So hopefully for next year we can recoup some of our Title money.
We did get some.
We did get Title II and Title IV, about 14,000, right?
That was 22. It was 12.
That's right, it's 12 and 10. So 12 for Title II and 10 for Title IV, so we can mingle that into Title V. So that helps. So then Wednesday, I was at the NBCL, they hosted a superintendent boot camp. We'll review a lot of hands-on work navigating the 25-26 legislative requirements. Talked about our budget realities, and then everybody just kind of working through the new cell phone policies and making sure that it met criteria of the law. So that's where we're at. Any questions, comments?
Cell phone policy. I probably have 3 dumb phones at home that replace this. How do you get around? They just hand you one that don't work.
There's consequences.
Okay.
I mean, the part of the policy we have to list our consequences in the
Okay.
policy. And that policy has to be in the student handbook.
And somebody asked me, he's like, well, 4 or 5 phones sitting at home. They power on, kids play games, but they don't do anything. What if the kid just hands in one of them? I'm like, oh, sure, there's consequences, but I knew the answer was my ass.
It's not just cell phones, their personal devices, they cannot bring their laptops, they cannot bring an iPad, they can, if it's a gaming board, and they can connect to the Wi-Fi, cannot bring it, unless it's on, in their IEP or 504.
Yeah.
Smartwatches.
It's no smartwatches, gizmos, which is huge with our elementary parents.
Yeah, that's gonna really change in elementary. I see that the biggest.
Yeah. I would guess our phone's gonna ring nonstop the first 2 or 3 weeks of school.
Tell my kid this, tell my kid that.
Get messages to the kids.
Yeah.
This is how I grew up.
Right? Yep.
Chris Bush come to the office.
We survived.
Dentist appointment, your mom is here.
You know, you talk to the schools that have it in place, and a lot of their kids after about 2 or 3 weeks are almost refreshed that they don't have.
We told Cody he had to actually talk to his friends at lunch.
Yes.
He's like, oh, you're right.
They might learn some social skills.
What?
Right.
I've got one question. Can you circle back and just kind of fill me in how the service master thing is gonna work for the school? With common.
Yep, so they'll send 2 people down every day in Fargo. Last I heard, 'cause I told them that if they really wanted to be here at 3 o'clock, they could be, start getting everything ready. He didn't want to, he does not, he said it would be after the kids are out of the
Okay.
So it is 3:30 or 4 o'clock. They haven't confirmed that yet. And I did have them talk to Sandy. She came everything this summer for us, has done a nice job.
Yep.
They had a conversation with her. It's not, that's all I know. I just said, please give her an opportunity because after a conversation, we can't talk.
Because I shared my personal conversation with her, she said she was gonna do it. So I didn't actually go through the
Okay, good. Yeah, she's done a nice job for us this summer. She's here.
Don't hold me to it, but
Yeah.
that's what she told me.
You know, like I
She was
said,
excited about it.
I said, let's say I call school at 1 o'clock, I'm gonna call you and say you probably should send it here.
Yeah.
But now that you have someone in Weimar, someone can have here and at least get the basics done.
Yeah.
The bathroom's clean, garbage is empty.
Okay, so those are the general responsibilities. Are they gonna do anything with the community center at all?
No,
Okay.
so Tyler's going
Okay.
to do the bathrooms.
Okay.
I've agreed, and then also part of our punishments for the phone policy is that they're gonna do service instead of just sitting in the office. So anybody who's getting dinged with phones is gonna go with me, and we're gonna, 3 days a week, we're gonna clean the fitness centers.
I like it.
Sounds good. Sounds like we're off to a good start.
We're not going to have them do our locker rooms, Tyler's gonna do locker rooms, he just doesn't want people from outside our community in locker rooms, and they're not going to do any of the office suite.
Yeah.
There's too many
Yep.
papers, private things, but you know, that's why I say,
That was my office too then.
I think so,
Okay.
unless you wanna change it.
No, I've got files in my notes.
Yep.
So.
Yep, I think your office is
If
probably
we're
first.
not doing that, we should probably.
Yeah, so you just have to put your garbage in the
Going
bucket,
back, that's not that bad.
or put it back in the copy. So, no, we'll play it by ear. They brought 7 people down here a week and a half ago, and they were taking a lot of notes, and they were very professional, and they were excited about this. And we'll see, proofs in the pudding, right? But it's not that the high school kids that we had did a bad job, it's that they're busy kids. You know, they were in everything, they were in band, they were in FFA, they were in poetry out loud, they were in. So, okay.
Meeting adjourned. Picnic. Board member,
Oh, yeah.
take it to the picnic.
None.